connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. SmarterBase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jemmy Stone.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Sports Arena. I'm your man, Eric Wilson. And as you can clearly see, we've got a brand new look tonight. I want to say thank you, a huge thank you first and foremost to my man, Blake Anthony, for hooking me up and helping me prepare this and getting this ready. Next Gen Sports Network is huge in what they're doing and their involvement. I'm just glad they kept me to be a part of it. But enough about me. Let me go ahead and get the crew in here. Everybody's got a fresh new look. So, of course, as always, I'm going to do ladies first with our girl. Well, I'm going to let you see for yourself. Miss Megan Price is in the building. What's up, Megan? How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good. Let me go ahead and say it again. My man, Mr. Ty Ray in here really fast. Ty Ray, what's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on?
How you like, brother?
Oh, it's fire, man. Busy day in the world of basketball. Oh, see, you got the Panthers. Oh, that's fire. Oh, man, I didn't even see that. Wow.
Hey, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. You know how we do now.
Hey.
Let me get my brother in here. This brother, as you will clearly see from all of his credentials that he has got in the building, this is our man, Mr. Alex Fleming, joining us here tonight. Alex, I had to take care of you, brother, but your new look, sir, what you think?
I like it. I got NSPN over here, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Florida Sun, Orlando Magic. Makes me look like a boring guy.
Hey, brother, I'm just glad you're here with us, man. Let me get my man, and a man who you're going to be seeing very soon. You're going to be seeing him Hall of Fame game up in Canton, Ohio. That's our man, Sideline Sports Network's own Mr. John Shears in the building. John, man, check you out, man. Look at you.
Oh man, we got a big week going on here. Tomorrow, it all starts tomorrow.
I hope you guys are ready for this. I really, really do. But I know you and Alex are going to do your thing. So we got a special guest in the building with us before I get to the final guy, but she has graced us with her presence yet again. Love having her in the building. This is our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth. Came through. I even hooked her up. Look at you, Ruth. How are you?
I love it. Thank you. Appreciate you letting me come crash the party here on this lovely Monday evening. And yes, we have a lot to talk about. So stay locked in here on the Sports Arena.
Appreciate you, Ruth. And then, of course, last but not least, I got to get him in here. My brother, Mike Carrotson-Nudo. What's up, Mike?
Man, I'm chilling. Ruth just has great taste. I mean, first the Cowboys, as we know, and then secondly, that's an AC Milan jersey, dog. I mean, anything Italian is going to be pretty beautiful, unless it's some other teams from there. But I mean, come on, dog.
All right, everybody. Listen, everybody looking good. Let me get the entire crew in here tonight on the Sports Arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is going to be our new look for all of us. But I don't even know if I can. I know we're like the Brady Bunch here. We packing them all in. But you know me, I'm going to gracefully bow out here for a minute. But I want to start the conversation, as everybody talked about right here, NBA free agency. So I'm going to let the six of y'all take this one because I have no idea where I'm going. So Miss Megan Price, Miss Ruth the Truth, I'm going to let y'all do your thing with this one.
Okay. I think first off, you got to start with the Lakers. I mean, that's just kind of the destination, it seems like. Don't you guys?
Nah, we don't want to start with the Lakers.
Why not? Why not? There's been huge moves. Huge moves.
It's nothing to talk about.
So you're not happy
as a Lakers fan?
Nah, it's nothing to talk about yet, man. It's nothing to talk about yet.
What do you mean it's nothing to talk about? Maybe Melo. You got Dwight Howard. You got Ariza. Ariza probably addresses some of your shooting issues. What do you mean?
Can I ask a question?
Melo?
Can I ask a question though?
Go ahead.
You said Dwight Howard. Is this 2008?
No, but I mean Ariza too. I mean,
Kobe,
he's old, but
is this 2012?
Megan, no, because Kobe would have kicked him out of town for being too soft. Isn't that what Kobe did?
I mean,
Alex, come on, you know he did. He bounced him for being. He said he was soft. Then I'm not saying he was.
Isn't this Dwight's third stint with the Lakers?
Yes,
I mean, come on,
Is it
man.
his third? Wow.
I don't. He should have never left the second time. I don't know. It was a miscommunication. I don't know what happened, but.
I was completely shocked to even see him on the 76ers roster. I was like, wait a minute. They just won a chip and they booted him?
He put on Twitter he was coming back. And then next thing I know, it's deleted and he's in Philly. So
weird.
I don't know. But go ahead, Megan. Go ahead.
I feel like he was a bad fit for the Sixers. So, I mean, he was a great fit in part of y'all's championship run. So why wouldn't you want him back?
I mean, that's why I say
I think if we start with the Lakers, it's only fair. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys already had the Westbrook conversation. I might have missed it.
I like it. I like it, but I feel like there's some shooting issues. There's some issues with shooting percentages there. But
I'm so tired of hearing that. I love you, Megan.
True. It's true. What is the shooting percentage, Mike? What is it?
Alex, let me just say this real quick. If a dude can't shoot, you don't have a 13-year NBA career. I understand he doesn't shoot the highest percentage. Hold on, a guard. Fine, let me say a guard. I don't understand how a dude can win an MVP. He still hits shots. Yes, he doesn't hit him to the clip of Dame or Steph. Not many do. But I will say this. I'll take Westbrook on my team any day. Dude balls out every night.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, but my point to that is it's his fit with the Lakers. They have a shooting issue. Westbrook, yes, he's great, but his percentages are kind of not the greatest, and LA has that problem, right?
Yeah, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who covered it in the open court.
I feel like when it comes to Westbrook, whenever he's in like a team situation, he always feels like he needs to put the team on his shoulders, and he does too much. He doesn't move around the ball. He shoots a lot.
Wait, the same Westbrook that KD won his first MVP with? That Westbrook?
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead, Alex. I don't know what Mike is talking about. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you. I've learned patience, but I get sick and tired of talking about the same team every single time. Lakers. We're talking about NBA free agency, and we spent 5 minutes on the Lakers. Well, I want to say this, if you allow me to speak.
Sorry.
One, they probably kicked out Dwight Howard because he was hunting down too many transvestites on Hollywood Boulevard.
No,
Number two, PJ Tucker is now in Miami Heat.
Yes.
Lonzo Ball and PJ Caruso are now Chicago Bulls. But yet we're spending all this time about Lakers.
It's only been a few minutes. We're just
you want us to talk about the Orlando Magic, man? You want to talk about
actually the Orlando Magic had an excellent draft, getting Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs.
Okay, and they'll still win 20 games. Now let's keep going. 15, 20 games.
Oh Lord!
I'm just saying.
All right, okay, I'll say this. Their first pick was great. I mean, obviously, that's who you had to rock with whenever Toronto decided not to get Suggs. But their second pick, I mean, it was still in the first round. I'm not too hot on that second pick.
I'm wondering why they didn't go after Luka Garza, because Detroit picked up Cade Cunningham and then came back and got the second best player in Luka Garza. So I'm like, Detroit cleaning up over here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to dog Weltman because he was going after the best player available right then and there. But when you go after the All-American who led the NCAA in scoring and Luka Garza from Iowa, I mean, where's the misconnect on that?
Alex, it's the scouting reports. It's the scouting reports. He's too slow, but yet a guy too slow can sit there and just score. We're saying Westbrook can't score. This guy scores at a high clip, and he's bigger than most people, and he can shoot over most people.
But Mike, we've seen this before. We've seen it with Adam Morrison, one of the best college players. That, you know what I mean? And
I agree. Adam Morrison wasn't as big as Luka Garza. I mean,
no, he wasn't. Okay, look at Frank Kaminsky. He was dominating college. What is he doing in the NBA?
Not down low. Frank Kaminsky hung out outside. And again,
yes,
I love Frank the Tank. I love Frank the Tank.
That Wisconsin Badger was shooting threes. He wasn't a down low presence.
He was still in the paint too. Why do you think they called him Frank the Tank?
Because he drank a lot in Wisconsin. You've been to Camp Randall? Alex put his head down because he knows what Camp Randall's like.
But speaking of Phoenix, they signed McGee also.
I like that. I like that for them.
I like that too. A little depth in that center position.
Oh, we got Lakers just signed Kent Bazemore. Okay, now we can talk about it. No, I'm just messing with y'all. Go ahead.
John, wait, no. John hasn't said a word. How happy are you about Kyle Lowry?
It's a fantastic signing. It's exactly what Jimmy Butler wanted. So Jimmy Butler's happy, and that's what's important. And Dragic is going, which is important because then they free up money. I think the core is really, really good. And if they can get Tyler Hero back on track, one bad year, one really good year, that team is going to be scary.
I don't see Tyler Hero getting on track because he has a child.
It's just 1 year, and he's only 21.
He's got a baby on the way. There's going to be lots of sleepless nights.
A big deal. There's a lot of people with babies in
He got an Instagram model pregnant.
Oh,
what a 21-year-old move.
All right. Well, she was a free agent. She was a free agent too. But John, they were also talking about. Jimmy Butler's full extension.
Mm-hmm. Like he's getting 4 years, $184 million.
Yeah, and they said it could. Was it his that could go up to 200?
Guys, answer me something. When do we get to the point in life where we could turn down $36 million to not even play, or maybe $44 million? So you don't want to re-sign with the team. Kawhi Leonard turned down a $36 million option for the Los Angeles Clippers.
That's different.
I'm not.
That's different.
Now, Megan, don't be bitter now. Don't be bitter now, Megan. But I'm just saying, not saying that he doesn't deserve the money, but what is this man thinking?
Well, I mean, he's going to get a max deal.
He's going to get a max contract offered to him.
He's not playing next year, Ty. Let me say this slowly. He's not playing next year.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Didn't Durant do the same thing? Didn't Durant do the same thing and go to State?
He's trying to do what Kevin Durant did because he knows he's in the top echelon of the league. That's the whole point because KD got that money too. Now, I agree with you. If you think they're not on the same level, fine. People can have that debate, Alex. But I'm just saying he knows he'll get his because he'll work to recover and he can pick where he wants to go.
Well, he's supposed to re-sign with the Clippers. That's the expectation for declining.
I think he will too.
Supposed to be a brand new deal.
Yeah, you look the same way Chris Paul dropped out of his option to sign a longer deal.
Right.
I mean,
so who's gonna play longer, Chris Paul or LeBron James?
Ooh, good question.
LeBron takes better care of his body.
They both need to go. I'm tired of both of them.
Hey, I mean, I can be tired of Chris Paul. He doesn't sit there and cry. He doesn't cry like LeBron. Like you always say, LeBron cries, Alex.
No, LeBron cries, but at least he does something with his longevity. Chris Paul's been in the league for 16 years, has one finals appearance, and disappeared like Casper. You know, he has to deal with LeBron. Chris Paul, get the hell out of here.
I think we should get
nowhere in the top 5 point guards.
But does
Alex, who's your team, Alex?
Does Chris Paul get any
That doesn't mean he can't have a say.
props for
No, I'm
bringing
just
the
asking.
Phoenix Suns from not even being able to make it to the playoffs to make it to an NBA Finals for the first time since 1993? That was the year I was born.
Wait. Are we becoming the New Orleans Saints all of a sudden? We're going to beat participation trophies?
Oh, here we go.
Okay, let's make it to the NBA Finals and lose it. Yay. You could have done that with Barkley back in the 90s.
Hey, Russ did that once. Russ got to the finals once and lost. Did the same
Thank
thing.
you.
Kevin Durant. Oh, wait. So now everybody wants to blame Russ, but they don't want to blame Kevin Durant for missing some big shots. Because we can go back to that finals, and I can point out to you the big shots that KD missed. And Russ,
KD had no chance of beating my Heat.
He
in that
was
final.
a
Zero
half an
chance.
inch away
Get
from
outta
turning
here.
that game away.
Yeah, he did because they had James
Gentleman's
Harden coming
sweep.
off the bench, and there was no better bench player on Miami than James Harden from Oklahoma City at the time. There wasn't. That's why he was the sixth man of the year, A, and B. So Durant missed shots, but yet we're just going to blame Russ for that. But yet when Durant wins an MVP next to Russ, maybe Russ can play with people because Russ goes balls out every night. He doesn't ask to come out. He doesn't have his load management. So, again, I'm always going to go to bat for Russ because you show me a faster point guard. There ain't nobody getting in front of him. So, cool.
Lonzo Ball and Jay Caruso are going to make an excellent dynamic to go with Marketing and Levine in Chicago.
I love that.
This should be a team to watch. In the
Not Marketing, though. Not
who the heck
Marketing,
is
though.
Jay Caruso?
He's not good. He's going to make a great fit with Vucevic. That's who he's going to fit well with.
Oh,
You don't think Marketing is going to take that next step with Vucevic?
No.
You really don't think so?
I don't. I really don't. No, negative.
By the way, we should give the Phoenix Suns credit for such a great deal with campaign. 3 years, 19 million?
19 million, yep.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
That's a steal.
I think I
That's
saw
EBT right there, bro. That's EBT.
Oh my god!
Hey, I'm trying to figure out where the Bulls got all this money from.
I'd have to look it up.
We've
John,
had
but I think
money.
It could be upward to like 20.
Oh, now it's we. Okay.
Or 25 million. I think Payne's
Always
contract.
been a Bulls fan, bro. If you paid attention,
Hey, somebody
you would
write
know
that down. Somebody write that down.
Well, and a sleeper pick also, Kelly Olynyk went to Detroit, who was actually a part of that Miami trade to Houston. Olynyk went to Houston and was averaging about 19 points a game, and now he's going to Detroit. Detroit is incredibly young. They have Sadiq Bey, or they had two rookies last year that were considered in the Rookie of the Year race. Obviously, neither one of them won. And then you also have you're adding a veteran who was playing pretty well in Houston. I know Houston wasn't great, but he played well there.
Yeah, 15 wins. Keep it
Olynyk is
moving.
a hard worker who does all the dirty
Okay,
work.
two things. 2012 was the last time that Houston missed the playoffs, other than the debacle of last year. Number two, what are you going to do with Killian Hayes? Why do you have Killian Hayes on the Detroit Pistons roster if you're not going to have a future with him? You just got Cade Cunningham. Well, what is it? Because he's not being consistent at
Alex,
all.
they're only going to win 20 games, man.
No, I think Detroit is going to be better than that. What do y'all think about the Spurs pickups? McDermott, Zach Collins?
Next subject.
Zach Collins can't stay healthy. That's why
Doug McDermott's on his fifth team, Megan. I mean, damn.
You said what about
He ain't
McDermott?
that guy in college.
He's on his 15, bro. 15. Fifth.
He's on his 15. He can still shoot. Hey, all I wanna say
PJ
is-
Tucker's on his like 18.
I know.
Oh
Speak
yeah,
on it.
PJ
Speak
Tucker
on
just
it.
got pulled away from.
Okay, McDermott's been in the league for 6 years. PJ Tucker's been in the league for 13. Let's do some simple math. Which one makes more sense to you?
It's still been on like 10 teams though.
Hey, but how about this? And this signing back, and I know Alex, you say, or you kind of, I'm not gonna say overlook him, but Mike Conley getting back with the Jazz, that it was expected, but the 3 years, $72.5 million. Look, him getting banged up hurt them. They had the top record in the league for a reason. Yes, other teams are injured. I know we can get into that later, whatever. But Mike Conley there with Donovan Mitchell when healthy, and if Rudy Gobert just has to play defense and be a third or fourth scorer, man, I'm telling you, people have to like it. They're going to be
And
guys,
Devontae Graham
guys,
just signed with
let's
the
stop
Pelicans.
this right now. Let's just stop this right now because with the Utah Jazz, it's the same song and dance. You're regular season champions. You make it to the playoffs. You have the easiest road and something always always goes wrong.
I agree.
I'm talking about the Jazz.
I agree.
I meant Donovan Mitchell, guys, like 2 weeks ago.
Donovan Mitchell.
Let's laugh at the Knicks, please. Let's start laughing at the Knicks. This was terrible. It's terrible. That's your big signing is Evan Fournier for that deal. I mean, that team's done. This was supposed to be the team that you bring the destination for the free agents to, right? And you get Evan Fournier to a giant contract. You're done. That tells us what you think you are. You overachieved in your eyes. You just told us with that. So, bye-bye, Knicks. You were fun for 1 year. Now you're done.
Evan Fournier just got a long-term deal with the Knicks.
4 years, $78 million.
Yeah, they done.
I don't know. He was cooking Team USA. I'm just saying.
Bye-bye.
Yes, he
That
was.
is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Are we getting kicked out? What's going on?
No,
here?
just for a moment, I got to jump in here because y'all just had me rolling. So we are truly going to take a real quick break because I know my man Ty Ray's got to get himself prepared. He's got other stuff going on. But Ty, I appreciate you chiming and joining in here with us. When we come back, let me give y'all a little teaser here. Our conversation is going to shift to the NFL, and we're going to talk about someone who I know, not on a personal level, but he did steal my heart for a few years. But now that he's no longer in Indianapolis, the question that I'm asking the crew is who is actually going to come away winning the AFC South? You're joining us here with the Sports Arena. The entire crew is in the building tonight. We are going to be back in just a moment. Sit tight, everybody. This is just getting good.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
Welcome back into the Sports Arena. Your man Eric Wilson here on a Monday night. And as you see, yes, we are live every Monday and Wednesday. Well, I say most Monday and Wednesday nights we are live right here on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube. And we are expanding. But let me go ahead and get the entire crew in here. Megan Price, 806 Sports, and the Sip-Off, along with Dallas Wings reporter Alex Fleming. Let's see. Jacksonville Jaguars, Tampa Bay Bucks, Orlando Magic, Next Gen Sports Network, Florida Sun Review, Fantasy and Flavors, Magic Perspective. He's dropping a new Alex Fleming Perspective later on this evening, so make sure you check that out. That's going to be hitting your airwaves tomorrow morning. Sideline Sports and Cardiac Cane, Mr. John Scheer, our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth from Sports Talk Florida, and as always, Michael Caratanudo, Believe in the Pac-12 Basketball Podcast. So let's keep it going here tonight. And like I said, a man who I know and actually did cover for about a couple of seasons, even though he was sidelined with injury and this and that happened. He is out indefinitely because of a foot injury. So the question that I want to ask the entire group is, when we did our way too early bird predictions for who we thought was going to win the AFC South, I'm pretty sure the majority of us picked either the Indianapolis Colts or the Tennessee Titans. Well, now that Carson is out and his backup, I believe his name is Jacob Gleason, if I'm not mistaken.
Jake Eason.
Thank you, Jake Eason. He is the backup. Now the question is, who in fact is going to win the AFC South? Miss Megan Price, Miss Ruth the Truth, ladies, I'm going to defer to the two of you first. Who do you think is going to win this division?
So, as Dallas Cowboys fan, I was not impressed with Carson Wentz and his move to the Indianapolis Colts. I didn't have high hopes for him, and now him being out indefinitely, that is news to me because I thought the minor surgery that he was having on his foot was going to have him out 5 to 12 weeks. So out indefinitely, that's a big news for me right now. But if I had to choose, I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. If Julio Jones can stay healthy, I think Ryan Tannehill and what they have going on in Tennessee is going to be enough to take over the AFC South.
I'm inclined to agree. Now, I do think I had Indy winning whenever Carson was healthy, but I mean, I always knew that was going to be a stipulation. Can he stay healthy? Would he stay healthy? But I also believe that Indianapolis could have won in spite of him or despite him. So still, they have a possibility. They just signed Brett Hundley as well, who played backup at Green Bay, Seattle, Arizona. So they have a little bit of veteran there on their backups. And then they have Sam Ehlinger also, who is the quarterback coming out of UT. So they have a few options there. Their defense is great. Their O-line is great. So still a possibility, but I think it's Tennessee's year to rule this division.
All right, fair enough. Let me go ahead and get Mr. John Shear, Cardiac Kane, and Mr. Alex Fleming in here. Gentlemen, give me your thoughts on who wins this division.
After you, John.
All right. Well, first of all, did she say Brett Hundley?
She said Brett Hundley, bro.
She said Brett Hundley. Just wanted to double check. She said Brett Hundley. I had to make sure I didn't hear that,
They just signed him.
I have nothing but love for Megan, so I didn't hear her say that.
Yeah. Anyway, let me read off their schedule because, first of all, this schedule wasn't going to be easy to start with. But without Carson Wentz, 5 to 12 weeks, not sure where it's going to be. You got Seahawks week 1, Rams week 2, at the Titans, at my Dolphins who are improved, at the Ravens, you get the Texans, you get at the Niners, home to the Titans, you get the Jets, Jaguars, then you get at the Bills, and then home to the Bucks. Besides the Jaguars and Texans in there, good luck winning in those 12 weeks. Like with Carson Wentz, that was going to be hard because those are a lot of really good teams. Without Carson Wentz, in my opinion, you get like 3 wins out of that, maybe. That's death row right there without Carson Wentz. Unless you trade for a guy, you have nothing on your roster. It's going to give you any hope of catching Tennessee. Unless Tennessee somehow shoots themselves in the foot. They typically do, but that's death row right there. So unless Carson Wentz can magically come back or they trade for somebody, which I think that they should do, you could just kill the Colts right now.
Hey, you know what? I got a joke for you. You know why you can't do reverse cowgirl in Tennessee? Because you should never turn your back on your family. Guys, we're paying too much attention to the Tennessee Titans and not enough attention to that awful defense. That defense was ranked 22nd last year, just a little bit better than those Falcons. And now you're going to tell me that you're going to lose your defensive end, both of your corners, and one of your safeties, and replace them with Bud Dupree and D'Amico Autry? Don't piss on my back and tell me it's raining. That defense is SAWFT soft. Oh, and while all you guys in the sports arena, especially you, Tyree, was laughing at me when I wasn't making any sense when I said without that bum Carson Wentz, they can go 11-6. With Carson Wentz, they could go 13-4. Call me now for your free reading.
I don't disagree with you, but they need some sort of like buffer. They need a Nick Foles or somebody that can hold the fort down. Not even Nick Foles would be that good.
They don't, and here is why. Super Bowl caliber defense. Do we even need to question the front seven with the defensive line and the linebackers? I didn't think so. Arguably the best offensive line in pro football, and they have a Hydra backfield. Marlon Mack is going to be back from the injury that he sustained week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was there. I know. Jonathan Taylor with 1,169 yards and 11 touchdowns came out guns a-blazing. And Nyheim Hines is an actual credible RB2 who was an 860-yard back between rushing and receiving. Now, I don't know about you, but 3 heads are better than 1. And I'm not talking about porn. This team can win with or without that bum Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but how do you beat that schedule that I mentioned to you? The Seahawks, Ravens, Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, at the Titans, the Rams, and
John Shear,
that.
If you will allow me, let me get a man who I've known for 12 years. And even though we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, I think we're going to give you that answer. Allow me to welcome in my tag team partner, Michael Carrot-Tenuto. So, Mike, you and I, when it comes specifically to Carson Wentz, we've had our opinions on him.
I love him.
Right. We both give him his praise and we both give him his share of blame. But to answer John's question directly, and I'll focus on what Alex said, Indianapolis's defense, in my opinion, top 3 defenses in the entire NFL. And if anybody doesn't believe me, go look at what they did last year during a COVID season with Phillip Rivers, a man who was known for throwing interceptions in game key winning moments. The offensive line, I think, is going to be the difference maker. And what Alex didn't focus on was the wide receiving core. And I think that wide receiving core, if Jake Eason can just basically be a game manager, I can truly see this team keeping up with Alex's prediction of 11-6.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, you've known me, like you said, we've known each other 12 years. And even back then when the rules started changing, I said, give me defense. Give me my boy Darren Woodson at safety, knock some skulls. Go ahead. Throw your little receivers out there who don't want to take hits, because you and I both know that it takes a special breed to go across the middle. And look, I understand it's a business decision, and I've said this to you a million times. I would probably make the same, but there's a lot of alligator arms when those safeties are coming down to kill you in that target. So, to Alex's point, yes, Alex got on the defense. John mentioned some of those teams. Well, the Seahawks, what has their defense done? Absolute jack. So, again, I get it, different conference, different division, but the Seahawks defense won't stop much. Now, look, Jacob Eason, you're right, is the key. And I think he, as a rookie, most quarterbacks should be a game manager as a rookie. And Alex did hit my point, was going to hit my point of the running back. So we heard that they can run the ball. And again, when you have Hines with a little, little screen to dump out, get that speed out in the open. I mean, Frank Reich, they've built a team there which works. And they did it on the defensive side first. They took care of their guys. Well, and the offensive line. But look, Carson Wentz, they're saying 5 to 12 weeks. Even if he missed 6 weeks, that's week 3 of the season, right? So he could be back for the 3rd game of the season. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to take all 12 weeks. Now, yes, I think they're just giving people that pat. And if it takes 12 weeks, then it's week 7, week 8. So you're still obviously halfway through, and that makes it a little tougher. Look, I think they had him get the surgery. He needed it. It's not a Liz Frank thing. So, again, you're looking at healing and everything people know about that injury. But this defense, I mean, again, I cannot say defense enough, and it's great when we get to. I still see him winning because, look, you know how I feel about the trash-ass Texans. I feel bad for their new coach, who I think is going to get fired after a year when they don't win, because it's not his fault, the junk that's there, and how, get rid of Hopkins. Obviously, Bill O'Brien, J.J. Watt gone, Deshaun Watson, his troubles, but he wants out. I mean, Will Fuller's in Miami right now, right?
I believe, yes. Yep.
Yeah, Miami. So, I mean, again, you know how I feel about that trash team. I probably said too many. I probably talked about them more than I talked about Mike Nolan, which I shouldn't do. They're not winning a damn game. Jacksonville will be improved. Tennessee, look, we said the defense, but you know what? And the defense did kind of start losing some tread on the tires towards the end of the season last year. But I'm going to say that Mike Vrabel knows how to coach, and that offense is going to punch defenses in the mouth. So I still think it'll be a race to the end for the Titans and the Colts. But I'm still, because of the Colts defense and the running backs too, and most importantly, of course, an offensive line, give the advantage to the Colts. So, and look, Phillip Rivers, I get why he was picked on. Yeah, there were times in San Diego he did throw picks, but come on, how many times even 1 year in LA, how many times was he down where he had to huck the ball? Again, I think Philip Rivers, again, you get blame and you'll get all the credit as a quarterback. I get it. But Carson Wentz, again, if he's back by week 3 and he's able to go, it's still going to be a battle with Tennessee. But with that defense, how can you not lean to the Colts? I mean, look, Jacksonville, I think, will be improved. And hopefully, because Alex will have a better time covering them the more improved they are. Plus, I can't wait to see all the pictures with sunshine.
Listen, I can't give it. Here's the thing, Mike. I can't give it to Jacksonville just yet. As much as Alex said to Carolina, wait your turn. I feel Jacksonville's in that same situation.
Oh, no, they'll be improved. I'm not saying they're not going to win it, but they'll be better than the Texans, but they'll be behind the other two. Yes.
Okay, so fair enough. So if you ask me right now who's going to win the AFC South, I've got to roll with King Henry.
Wow.
And that's not because of Carson being out. That's just simply because if you look at his workout regimen, this man's not going to continually put himself in a position to be the best physical prowess athlete out there and not come away with a ring to match that crown. Let me go ahead and get the clue in.
Let me in.
Okay, Alex, we can hear you. You're in there.
But Ryan Tannehill is still pretty good too.
Mike, for the love of God, Mike. Damn. Guys,
what?
Real talk. Can you name me Derrick Henry's backup right now?
No.
I didn't think so. Number 2, do you know the percentage rate that they were using Derrick Henry compared to Ryan Tannehill? Ryan Tannehill threw the ball 336 times last year. Derrick Henry carried the ball 376 times. He had 19 receptions for 114 yards. A lot of you guys think that his percentage and his usage rate is going to go down because they got
Larry
Julio
Johnson.
Jones. And you're wrong. His usage rate is going to go up because they're going to need him for the play action passes that Ryan Tannehill is going to hit to A.J. Brown and Julio Jones.
Look.
I'm trying to tell you, call me now for your free reading. I'm not wishing injury on anyone, but if Derrick Henry gets hurt, this offense is going to fizzle.
Let me respond to that.
I'm just saying Ryan Tannehill's a good quarterback and can play the game, and he didn't get a fair chance in Miami. That's
historically, whenever you break 300 carries in a season, you start to decline. Look at Sean Alexander. Look at Larry Johnson. What
Jamal
happened to
Anderson.
them when they hit 300 carries? They went downhill.
Yeah,
so Derrick Henry might take a step back because when you hit that 300 yard or 300 carry mark, historically, you start to decline. Anyway, you talked about Philip Rivers, Eric.
Yes,
4,100 yards last year, 24 touchdowns on 11 picks, 68% completion percentage. So don't knock Philip Rivers because you're not getting that out of Sam Ellinger or Brent Hundley or whoever else they got. You're not
Jacob
anywhere
Eason.
close to that, or Jacob Eason. So let's not compare them to a Hall of Famer. And game manager wise, Mike, you're not beating the Seattle Seahawks week 1 without Carson
Seahawks
Wentz.
don't have a defense
You barely have a shot to beat them with Carson Wentz.
Trash. The
Seahawks are trash with Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf.
Does Russell Wilson play defense?
I don't care about that defense. Good luck covering
Well,
DK
if you don't care about the defense, they're going to march the ball. The 3 running backs are going to run through them.
Let's try to get back to normal, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a stat that you may not like, but is going to be factual. If you're playing fantasy football, without a doubt, I would have Derrick Henry over any of the Indianapolis core backfield.
And all I'm going to say is Josh Norman. We know Derrick Henry is not declining.
Josh Norman.
If you're trying to win division championships and go further than the first round of the playoffs, I would take Indianapolis backfield any day of the week. Let me give you some numbers before you be like, but King Henry. Derrick Henry, 2,027 yards, 17 touchdowns, 19 receptions, 114 yards, no receiving touchdowns. Okay. Jonathan Taylor, 1,169 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 299 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Nyheim Hines, 380 yards rushing, 482 yards receiving, 7 total touchdowns. Marlon Mack didn't make it out of week 1. 3 heads is better than 1.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Alex, but the question simply states, who do I think is going to win the AFC South? And based on Carson Wentz not being the starting quarterback week 1, having to play Seattle, having to play Los Angeles Rams, that defense can be good, but you're throwing a new man out to the wolves. because your experienced guy who may not have played in the Super Bowl but has a ring, has the experience, and on top of that is back with a coach that trusts him. So that's why
there's no
to
experience factor here. Here's the funny thing about the experience factor that you want to throw out. Carson Wentz has been in the league longer than Sam Ellinger. Okay, congratulations. You know how long they've both been on the team? The same amount of time. They have the same playbook. If we're going to look at experience, Jacob Eason has the most time on the roster. Real talk.
Okay.
There's no
Sam
chemistry
Ellinger
once in that roster.
Get the job
How
done,
do we know that?
just as well
How
as
do we know
Carson
that?
They haven't done anything yet. They haven't been able to do anything.
We're saying Sam Ellinger, Jacob Eason's going to be is second string unless Ellinger somehow beats him out. Which, no offense, he did good at Texas, but he's better than Ellinger. Fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, draft Sam Ellinger late in your fantasy profiles because he might just be starting some games with the Indianapolis Colts in the future.
Okay.
Just my gut
This ain't
feeling.
fantasy football. This is about who's winning the AFC South. And right now, if you ask me, I'm going with Tennessee. I'm got my faith in Julio Jones. I got my faith in King Henry. And I damn sure got my faith in Ryan Tannehill because, as Mike said, Mike Rabel knows how to coach.
Preach.
We are going to keep moving.
He doesn't know how to coach defense.
Hey, John Shear, just remember, we saved the mic drop moments for our girl Megan Price, but I'm going to let you get that one. We're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back and discuss the Olympics. More with the entire crew here on the Sports Arena. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Sports Arena, ladies and gentlemen. Your man Eric Wilson here, alongside the rest of the crew. Just want a real quick shout out to everybody that you see above me here who has supported and rode with me, from Fusion Sports to Trazer to the National Scouting Combine, the NFL Draft Bible, the only draft Bible that you're going to need. You want to talk about a valuable resource for up and coming college to professional athletes in the football world? This is what you need. Of course, AFC 365, where I get all of my gear from. Check out my man Byron. And of course, last but not least, all the graphics that you see, from the intro to the overlays. My man Rob Graphics is definitely hooking me up. I know he's got something special for our girl, Miss Megan Price, but just want to take a moment to recognize all of them. Let me get the entire crew back in here. Megan, Alex, Ruth, Mike, and John. So last topic of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Olympics. And we're watching the men and women's basketball go on. A real quick shout out to the women 3-on-3 basketball for taking home the gold in their inaugural season. I look forward to seeing what they do moving forward. But with regards to the men and women's basketball, can I ask y'all a question? Very simply, how's everybody doing? How are we all feeling? Because I know there was a point where some of us were a little nervous about the men and what they were going to do. The women had a very close matchup just the other day. And so I just want to get a pulse and get a feel from everybody, just kind of see where everybody's at. So, of course, Miss Ruth the Truth, let me start with you and ask you, Ruth, when it comes to the Olympic basketball games, how you doing?
I mean, it's definitely started off shaky, but I just want to take a moment to congratulate the men's soccer U.S. team who won gold over Mexico last night. And then the women's team is going to have another opportunity to fight for the bronze this Thursday after losing to Canada last night in penalties. But so far, I haven't really been watching a lot of Olympic basketball because you guys know I was going through finals, but I'm done with school now, so I'm kind of zoned into the Olympics basketball, but I don't really know what's going on. I know that we were having a little bit of a rough time, but then we were making it back. I know that Devin Booker and some other players had to come join the men's Olympic team after playing in the NBA finals. So you guys tell me what's going on.
All right, so let me go up to our girl Megan Price, who's been following the teams and getting up at 2 and 3:30 in the morning on these interview calls and Zoom calls. Megan Price, how are you doing?
I'll say that with the women's, I'm a little concerned, but I'm more concerned about the men's capabilities. Now, the women still look dominant, but I think as a whole, the world is starting to catch up talent-wise with America as far as basketball. So in the game last night, the women played France, and they have some sharp shooters on the French team. But the USA women's, they ended up finishing. Asia Wilson had 22 points, 7 rebounds. Breanna Stewart had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. 14 of those points were in the second quarter for Breanna. Tina Charles had 15 points and 5 assists, and BG had 11 points. I believe in their capabilities, but I just feel like the world is kind of starting to catch up. So these games are a lot closer. But congratulations to them. This was their 52nd win in a row. They haven't lost a game since 1992. And they will find out who their next opponent is after the prelim round finishes tonight. They will have the drawing. Now, the men, they play Spain tomorrow at 11:40 p.m. Central, 12:40 Eastern. I'm very concerned. Spain has some ballers on that team, so I'm very concerned about their chemistry. Now, they did make a comeback against the Iranian team, but how many Iranians are in the NBA? 0. So I don't know. I didn't take a lot of stock in that win personally.
Okay. All right. Mike, you seem to be my international guy, especially when it comes to soccer, but you know your basketball as well. So Mike, with regards to the Olympic basketball teams, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I see what Megan's saying. I mean, I think it always takes a second for a team to get together, but I think the women have gelled a little bit quicker. And I like, they were up on Nigeria. Nigeria actually played some defense, got some stops, made a little bit run towards the end, but then the ladies extended it out again. I just think they're too deep. I mean, again, no matter who you put on the floor, it just seems like it's mixing up. They're sharing the ball, which, again, I know sounds obvious, Eric, but you need to do. And that being said, I think they've just gelled. And, for Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, it's one of those things where, again, they're both on their 5th Olympic team, and they get each other. I mean, it's just the spacing on the court hasn't really been an issue. And I know that they're playing Australia on Wednesday in the quarterfinals. That was announced, I guess yesterday. Well, it would be today here, but yesterday in Japan. And they're playing Australia, who was 1-2 in their qualifying group on Wednesday at 11:40 or at 12:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I look forward to that matchup, but I just think that Don Staley and the coaching staff has them focused. On the men's side, yeah, I think it was a little bit of whining in the beginning. I know we touched on it, not going to go crazy back into it, but I just said who was going to step up as a leader. And I'm with, Ruth. I mean, Devin Booker coming over, and obviously Holiday and Middleton have made a difference. I'm not saying they're like the lifesavers, but I think it obviously deepens the rotation, which, just talking about the women is good. And I think obviously a more, giving guys breathers. You have Durant who can get his, Damian Lillard. I mean, again, I'm with you, Megan. It is Iran, but I mean, Lillard, again, taking his shot, feeling a rhythm, coming off screens, hitting shots. So again, I think he hit 7 threes in that game. So I think, look, the men know it. I mean, Spain's going to be tough, and tougher than France, who beat them. I mean, they were up on France, and they should have won that game. France went on a run. That's the end of it. But Spain will be tough, but I think they're focused, and I think with, like I said, having Holiday, Middleton, and Booker there, definitely give them a little bit of an advantage. So I'm feeling good. I mean, I'd say stronger, a little bit stronger about the women, but I think the men will pull it through. Popovich, as Megan knows, is the man, and I think he'll get their heads out of their butts.
All right, Alex Fleming, talking about these two teams and just the weight that's on their shoulders, how they're able to handle everything on an international stage, because this only happens once every 4 years. Alex Fleming, how are you doing?
Physically or mentally? Physically, I'm just fine. Mentally, I'm wondering if you ask someone the question why it takes 5 minutes to answer. Ladies, I'm not worried about them at all. They're going to win. They haven't lost since 92. Moving on. I'm worried about the men. I mean, I said off the top that they were undersized. And I saw Spain and Slovenia have a knockdown, drag-out fight. And Slovenia's got shooters and Luka, while Spain had depth, size, and shooters. Rubio, Gasol, and that new guy that just got drafted. I don't want to wish the USA ill because I'm not taking a diet on my patriotism, but I think US has a very good chance of losing tomorrow. They aren't coordinated. They play hero ball and a lot of ISO ball. I think if they don't find a down low presence and actually have a lot of assists, they could lose tomorrow.
Okay, John Shear, men and women's basketball, sir. How you doing?
I love what the women are doing. I mean, congrats on the 3-on-3 winning gold. I think the women are going to win gold for the other one. I think the men are not going to medal. I just don't see it. I don't see any chemistry. Like Alex said, that they play hero ball. I see no leadership. I mean, maybe Devin Booker helps out, but I just don't see any leadership from them. And this is a different animal playing, in the Olympics. It's way different than the NBA. Nothing against the NBA, but it's just a different animal. You really have to be on your A game, and you have to play together. It can't be just one person. So I don't see the men medaling. I just don't. They've shown me nothing. So I don't see it.
Interesting. So, I mean, I'll provide a small take on this when I look at how I'm doing with this. I'm not going to be as bravado as Alex to say that the women are going to win it, because that game against France showed me that the teams internationally who then come to play for the WNBA, if they get their opportunity, they have an understanding of how these women play. And so even though you have the greats, the GOATs and Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, you have a Brittany Griner, you have a Breonna Stewart, and then you have some newcomers such as a Skylar Diggins-Smith. They are trying to piece together for a moment the opportunity to win a medal. Now, listen, they play with such a fierce hunger that it's unmatched. I will say that. And I think Megan would at least attest to this because she was there with me at the WNBA All-Star game, watching the Olympic team face the WNBA team. Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for Arika, I think the Olympic team would have had their number. But in the fourth quarter, she just was like, no, this is my show. This is my time, and I'm going to make it happen. So for that moment, she was the centerpiece. She was the cornerstone. Now with the Olympics, I think that needs to happen. There needs to be a cornerstone female. Who that is, in my opinion, is still yet to be determined. When we flip it over to the men's, again, I'm not going to be like John and say the men aren't going to win, because there's too much ego and there's too much pride in that locker room for them not to go out and get the job done. Not to mention, arguably, one of the greatest coaches ever to coach an NBA team, Greg Popovich. If the team would just wrap their mind around how Pop does things, these games would be blowouts by the second and third quarter. No question, no doubt about it. But time will tell. We shall see. I do feel that the women will come away with the gold. If you ask me right now, I say the men come away with the silver. I think something still is not right in their armor, and they may not get that gold. So just my thoughts on that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here on the Sports Arena. Again, we are live Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be off this Wednesday, just as a public service announcement. John Shear and Alex Fleming will be in Canton, Ohio at the Hall of Fame game. And I know there's going to be a lot of stuff that they are going to partake in and be a part of. So I'm very excited to see what they do. We're going to give our girl Megan Price some rest because I know she needs it. She is doing double and triple duty from not only doing her show, The Sip Off, preparing herself for the NBA carousel coming up next season, but as well covering the Dallas Wings, because once the Olympic is over, we still got a second half of WNBA basketball. So for our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth, thank you so much for being a part of the crew. We will definitely can't wait to see you again. Mike Caratanudo, Believe in the Pac-12. What's up, Mike?
I just want to say one thing. I can't wait till Alex and John come back decked out in Cowboys gear and fans.
Woo!
That's what I can't wait for.
Yes.
We need a smoking section.
Yeah.
We need a smoking section.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. There will definitely be a smoking section tonight. So, Miss Ruth the Truth, appreciate you. We will definitely speak soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Our girl, Miss Megan Price, 806 Sports, and the Sip Off Dallas Wings representative. We will definitely holler at you soon. My man, John Shear, Cardiac Cane, Sideline Sports. Alex Fleming, Florida Sun, Central Florida's oldest Black living newspaper, and Next Gen Sports Network. Hey, my brother, be safe, safe travels. Come back from Ohio, please. We want you back from Ohio.
Stay away from Browns fans.
Yes, please. Stay away from them as much as possible. And my man, Mike Caratanudo.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Like I said, we got a smoking section coming up. As always, we got to play the disclaimer to let everybody know what we finna get into tonight. But we will definitely talk to y'all really soon. Have a great night. See ya.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
I got something real heavy to lay on you, man.
Now that's what I need.
Please feel free to join us in the smoking section because we with all the smoke.
For God's sake, strap yourselves down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the smoking section where we air out our grievances. And sometimes some of the things we say just aren't, well, I'll just say it. They're not politically correct because we just got to get some shit off our chest. So I'm going to start with my man, Alex Fleming. I'm going to let him go first to air out his grievance that he has. And then if my man, John Shear or Mike Caratanudo have something to say, feel free. And then as always, I will close out the night. With that being said, my brother, Mr. Alex Fleming.
You can't pay attention to roaches online because roaches only want to see you fail. It's like infestation. When someone's constantly on top or winning, everything's okay. They're just lurking in the background, waiting for you to fail. And lo and behold, Team USA, women's national team, they lost against Canada in the 76th minute by 1 goal. And all of a sudden, all these used to be Patriots went on a diet and started talking crap about the U.S. women's national team. Now, this U.S. women's national team, who stands for equal rights, equal pay, stands with Colin Kaepernick, and marched during May 25th, 2020, if you don't remember what happened that day, now all of a sudden it's getting a whole bunch of internet beef and hate from all of these keyboard warriors who are happy to see the USA fail. Now, how disgusting is it to claim that you want to make America great again, and that if you don't love this country, get out of it, but the people who represent this country and the dynamics of change, you're rooting against because they stand for something that you don't believe in. LGBT community, equal rights, cops actually being held accountable for their actions, health benefits, equal pay for equal work. Nah, we need more women who are going to just shut up and stay in the kitchen because that's how we like our women, nice and docile and dormant. I will still be rooting for Rapinoe and all the ladies of the U.S. women's national team because if I got killed by a cop, I'm pretty sure they would have something to say, unlike you silent keyboard warriors who have something smart to say when it's America's downfall. Shame on you.
Yeah, mine kind of piggybacks a little bit off Alex's because I love the Olympics. I know I talked about that last week in the smoking section, and this is what annoys me is we're talking about women's sports and just other under the radar sports, or every 4 years we only see these sports in the Olympics when people watch them, and then they become, like Alex said, they're behind on they're behind their keyboards, and then all of a sudden they're experts. Look, addressing the women's national team real quick. Yeah, I would never root against them. And yes, they're talking about equal pay in their sport, just like USA women's hockey did, which of course nobody really talked about except for a little bit because they weren't going to play in a tournament. They were going to forfeit their crappy pay and not play in a qualifying tournament a few years back. And then it's funny how fast that got USA hockey back to the table. Now, the women's side of soccer has won a lot more than the men. We've touched on that. Don't need to go into the details. You guys can look it up online, the World Cups, the Olympic golds, and now they have a chance for bronze, which is still amazing. That's a point for another time. But that being said, they've won more than the men. Yes, congratulations to the men's national team for just winning the CONCACAF Gold Cup over rivals Mexico 1-0. Hey, good for them. But overall, the U.S. men have never won a World Cup. The U.S. women have won more. They've won gold medals. And for their sport, I had a debate today, which, Alex, I wanted to kind of bring you in on this, but at the same time, I knew I couldn't because I'd shut this guy down. He's trying to prove, say, different points and leagues. National team pay should be the same across the board. And if you're going to base it off of winning, then the men's national team should be getting a lot less than the women in that sport. Now, as it pertains back to the Olympics, my original point of this smoking section, here's the thing that annoys me. We're talking about giving more shine to women's sports and all sports. And I blame networks for that and executives who said, oh, we can't market that. They were lazy. They didn't try. How is it that we watch volleyball in the Olympics? Whether it's beach volleyball here, yes, people go out and support it, has its league. But indoor volleyball, I've heard so many times, especially on the women's side, that the Turkish league is the best in the world. You're telling me we don't have the resources here to support, I'm not saying a team in every state, but a professional volleyball league. It is awesome. If you've never watch some in the Olympics. It is insane, the speed, and everybody complains about other sports being too long. This is a very, 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 very quick sport. My whole point is the Olympics were created to celebrate the best athletes in the world, right? Sure. And it's grown and grown and grown. How is it that Europe has these professional track leagues, volleyball? We all know about European basketball. Yes, I know people in the U.S. probably aren't going to play cricket. But as for Olympic sports, they have developed these leagues overseas, but we can't do it here because we want to be lazy and just cover the big ones. That's what pisses me off the most. I love Olympic sports, and Eric can vouch for that. I've done play-by-play for a lot of them. I've worked with people that have obviously played them as my analysts, and you learn more. But telling me we can't fund it, it's just like when certain networks don't really broadcast a sport, and it's their playoff season, and they start their show off with regular season baseball highlights over Stanley Cup playoff highlights. Really? Like, people are being shown what to think, and then every 4 years they think they're an expert. You're not. The women's sports across the board, national team-wise, deserve equal pay. And it's more it was relevant in hockey, but it is extremely glaring, has been glaring in soccer where the women have won more. If you don't understand that, then don't even get behind your keyboard. Stay off it because you're absolutely freaking clueless.
So typically when I do this, y'all know me, I go on a rant and I talk about something, but this time I'm going to bring visual aid because I've seen this and it hurts me in such a way that I want to make sure that this is seen for those who may not have seen it. And I know everybody has with what I'm getting ready to talk about, but more importantly, I'm glad that the pictures that are going to show this just back up what I'm about to say. So let me do this really quick. All right. Everybody has seen this. Djokovic speaking on Simone Biles saying that, and I'm reading this directly, pressure is a privilege. Without pressure, there is no professional sport. If you are aiming to be at the top of the game, you better start learning how to deal with pressure and how to cope with these moments. Okay. So after making those comments, you lose the bronze medal match. And how do you react? Now, a professional would walk up to the net, shake your opponent's hand, and simply go back to the locker room and begin the process of, what did I do wrong? How can I get better? Then look at the tape and realize, well, maybe I should have moved here instead of moving this way. Or if I switched hands with my racket, I would have been able to get a better shot off. But no, that's not what happened. As you clearly see in this picture, you throw a racket into the stands, smash another, and then skip your match because you're having an Olympic meltdown. Okay. You can't throw stones if you throwing them from a glass house. That's number one. Number two, you are an Olympian representing your country. That is the highest honor in the sporting world, in my opinion, that a person can achieve. In my world, there is no greater honor than to be called an Olympian. So for you to comment on a young woman who put her mental capabilities as her primary concern and realized very simply that if her head was not in the game, she was not going to be able to compete at the level that the world wants her. And she's not going to half-ass it. Meanwhile, you go out there and you handle the pressure until you lose. Then you want to throw a temper tantrum like a 7-year-old. Again, I reiterate, you can't throw stones from a glass house. So learn how to deal with the pressure, because as you stated, my friend, pressure is a privilege. And if you can't handle the pressure, then get the hell out.